as I possibly can. And Jordan Henderson will be the player who's here once going into the task. So, fire away, Gareth, with the first two.
To watch, but just what are the challenges of facing a Diego Simeone side, and what are you expecting in the game now?
Similar intensity. Atletico never, I don't think, in the history since Diego's there, they never played a friendly game. So we should not expect that. And the situation in the group sets the level as well. So it's clear that Atleti probably needs 3 points, or thinks that they need 3 points, or stuff like this, or at least whatever. So, and we want to win the game with all we have, and we are at home, and we are. It's so long ago that we played a home game, a Champions League home game. It was AC Milan, but that's, I don't know, 4 or 5 weeks ago or something like that. So, but we were so happy last year when we qualified for the Champions League that we really. Because we knew we will have nights like this, so now a night like this is coming, and now we should celebrate it in a football way together with our supporters. And that Atletico is a good team, a very good team, an incredibly good team. Everybody knows, difficult to play, everybody knows, but we will still give it a try.
Jurgen, you're managing a few injuries as any club does, but how does that potentially impact on your selection for tomorrow night? And maybe perhaps you can give us another update on Naby Keita. It didn't look good at the weekend, although I don't think you're able to say the full extent of the injury.
Yeah, Naby has a hamstring injury, so will be out for a while. And apart from that, obviously Millie, clear, and others rather long term out as well. But Fabinho and Thiago trained completely normal and are in contention, which is good, obviously, very helpful. And so we'll see. But injuries that period of the season completely normal, as long as they are not too harsh. We have to accept that, and so the players will be back. Hopefully soon, and then they are in contention as well again. But no, for tomorrow only the fit players, obviously.
Okay, thank you. We'll go around the room now. We'll go with Carl Markham, followed by James from TalkSport, and Carl. Thank you very much. Followed by Carl from BBC Merseyside. Carl Markham first, please.
Is that all right?
Yeah, very good. Emotional.
Oh. Too early to get emotional. Hi, Jurgen. I'm just wondering, a couple of the last few games you've conceded 2-goal leads. I'm just wondering if that makes the feeling around, makes you appear more vulnerable to opponents, even if maybe you don't feel that way yourself.
Could you ask the question again? So I heard we conceded 2 goals, and then in the last games?
You twice conceded 2-0 leads, yeah? Once against Atletico and then come back, and then against Brighton. Does that give you that perception that you are more vulnerable than maybe you actually feel yourselves?
No.
You spoke about the defending on Saturday.
No, we are not perfect. I know that. I knew that before, and we have to defend situations better. That's absolutely clear. No doubt about that. But we had before, I don't know how many clean sheets Ali had this season already, so we cannot make these kind of discussions always like because of one game and you beat United 5-0 and the world is very, what is the right word? Rosé, and then the next moment you draw 2-2 against Brighton and you have massive problems. It's neither nor. We have to improve. That's what we know, and we have to. How I said against Brighton, the best way would have been the best way of defending would have been to keep the ball, to play the football we played in our good periods in the first half especially, and that's what we didn't do, and that was my problem. I knew before the game that there will have problems in moments against Brighton because all teams had it so far. That's just the quality of Brighton. They don't finish them situations always off, but against us they did, and that's why I deserved the point. but it has nothing to do with tomorrow. But that we have to defend in general better. That was we knew that before, and we work on that, and we have to. We would better do it tomorrow night because Atletico is a pretty good football team.
Thank you very much, Carl. We'll go to James from TalkSport.
Jurgen, how much of a boost would it be to progress from what is a really challenging group with 2 matches to spare? And what sort of achievement would that be when you consider the sides you've taken on?
Of course, it would be big. It's just we usually don't have to talk about these kind of things because we usually have a final in the group, and I hope that will not happen this year. Like with the last match day of the group stage, we need then a 1-0 or something like that, and it's not allowed that the opponent scores at all, and all these kind of things. So of course we want to avoid that, but we cannot make the second step before the first step. So the first step is we have just to win against Atletico, and that's already difficult enough. And what it means then, and what kind of achievement it would be, we can talk about afterwards. But that's not for the moment. For the moment, we have to prepare a football game against one of the best sides in the world, and one of the most determined sides in the world. So. And we're best motivated sides in the world. So they obviously go for everything and that all the time. And that's what we know. We play them now the 5th time tomorrow in the tournament and in Munich, I think, and then the 2 games 1.5 years ago. And now, so we know a lot about each other, so there should not be a lot of surprises, so we can prepare the game and play the best possible way we can. That's the idea.
Thank you. Now we go to Carl Woodward, one from the BBC. Carl.
Hi Jurgen.
Hi.
On Naby Keita, he came off when you were 2-0 up on Saturday. How much of an impact did it have on the side for the rest of the game? How much will you miss it now he's injured?
Yeah, it had an impact, but it's not nothing to do with Ox or whatever. But okay, we have clear patterns, and if you watch us closely, then you see a couple of them. And the right side worked really well together with Naby, Trent, and Mo. That worked really well. And then Oxlade came on. And Oxlade obviously a completely different skill set. So it's a completely different player to Naby. A very good one as well, but different. And so that was. Yeah, you could see it that it didn't. But by the way, he set up the second goal. So how I said, it was not about Oxlade. It's just about things, how you do them usually, and then you have to change them and these kind of things. Against a lot of opponents, that would have been not that really obvious. But against Brighton, that day it was, and that's all. That's all what we can say. It was a lot about Brighton, how they used our little weaknesses in that game, but. That's it, pretty much. So now we know we cannot play, so we prepare it in a different way, or maybe 2 different ways, and then we know exactly what everybody's doing.
Okay, I'm going to go around some of the overseas guys. I'm not sure whether we require the translation or not. I've got Sony India in the panel, but you've not turned the camera on. I'm not sure if you're just monitoring or if you want the question. It doesn't have an actual name to it at Sony India. Okay, we'll come to you in a second, sir, but we'll go first of all to Fred from Brazil for one question. Then we will go to Andres de la Poza, who looks like he might be on the docks in Liverpool, and then we'll finish this section with Sony India and Paul Joyce.
And
so,
that looks like he's played a role in Narcos.
Yeah, it's very nice. It's down there in it's down there on the front. Okay, so we'll go to Fred first of all. Who are you talking about there, Fred?
Thanks, Matt. Hi, Jurgen. I'm sorry if this question is somewhat off topic, but last week we all saw Josh Cavallo, that plays in Australian League, coming out as a gay footballer. And he's the only one to do so in any top flight league in the whole world currently. And the history of male football doesn't give us many examples like Josh. You have more than 30 years in the industry. And is it possible to understand why the male football seems not to be historically an open and safe environment for players and managers from different sexuality?
Actually, of course, I think we all agree it should not be like this. It's obviously that Josh is doing that, and it's such a big story. That's actually the problem we have, obviously, that it's not normal, or that he has to make an announcement, and he's not just living his life, his private life, and nobody should be bothered about that. But I can tell you, and the 30 years in the industry, how you said. I never had a dressing room where it would have been a problem at all. So The problem is not the inner circle. Obviously, the problem is the wider thing, and there we all have to work on. Still, obviously, that's very disappointing that we have still to work on that, but we have to work on it. That's how it is. That these kind of things, that these kind of news are not necessary. Nobody has to make an announcement like that, and nobody has to open up in a. I didn't say that I'm hetero, so I didn't have to. So that these kind of things should be just completely normal, but we cannot change that now. Again, it's not in the dressing room. So if it's not in the dressing room, where is it then? How would the media deal with it? How did the media deal with it? I have no idea. How much they're pushing now in the middle of interest, stuff like this, or is he just going back to what he actually wants to do, playing football, these kind of things? Crowds in the stadium, that's how it is. They use. We had our thing in Manchester. They were shouting a few things where I thought I didn't know why, to be honest. But these things, they try to, they try to give you some stake in a stadium. And if that would happen with these kind of things, for sure. So it's about being strong enough to get through this. And I saw his speech or his announcement, and he looks like a really strong, smart young man, and I wish him really all the best. I'm really thankful that he did it, because now we talk again. I'm not sure when we spoke last time about this subject. Now we speak again, and that's always a good start for changes.
Thank you, Fred. Okay, 3 more questions, I'm afraid, and then we're going to probably leave it. We've probably got the maximum we can take. Andres, looks like the Albert Docs in Liverpool. Andres.
Yes, I am. I try to speak in English, okay? Hello, Mr. Klopp. Andrés de la Poza from Deportes 4. I would like to ask you about Diego Pablo Simeone. You are going to be one of the most important stars in the game. He was talking about in his press conference about he doesn't shake the hands with the other coach after the game because he is very emotional. I don't know if you agree with this behavior, and what do you think about Diego Simeone? He is talking about he respects you a lot as a coach, but he cannot talk about you as a person because he doesn't know. Do you think, because you are passionate, you could be if you know yourselves? Thank you.
So I got everything, but I think the majority. So that's exactly how it is. I respect a lot what he's doing. I said that before and after the game. And but as private people, we cannot speak about each other we can, of course, but we don't know each other pretty well. So that's the case. But I couldn't respect him more. The things he's doing at Atletico and for how long he's doing it is up there, absolutely exceptional. In a really against a lot of really strong sides, being in such a good position years after year after year. That's really impressive. Was there a question involved about the handshake or whatever? Yes. Yeah, okay. So, how I said after the game, if I would have known he doesn't do it and I didn't know, then I wouldn't even tried it. Then I tried it, then I was waving or whatever. That was not necessary for me. I was really not happy with that. But how, as you said, how I know we are both emotional, and that was my emotion then. Was not necessary, but now I know he doesn't want to do it after the game, so no problem. So before the game, we shook hands actually before the game, so we'll do that probably tomorrow night as well, I assume. But after the game, not. Fine, absolutely no problem. And then we all can go home happily, at least in that department. And but in between the two handshakes, it's a very important game for us, and that's what I'm much more concerned about. That's what I'm much more thinking about. It will be a tough one. We know that, but it's our home ground, and we want other teams to feel that as well. We want to create a really special atmosphere tomorrow night in a highly emotional game. Not only managers are emotional, the players as well. Both teams are really determined. It's great attitude. They fight for everything, and that's what we probably will see tomorrow night. So I'm really looking forward to it. It's a massive game against a super side, but we are not too bad as well.
Thank you, Andres. Enjoy the Liverpool sunshine. The final 3 questions now. We've got, I think, Richard from Sunny India next. Then we'll go to Diego and then Paul Joyce to finish. But Richard, I hope I pronounced your name correctly.
Thank you. Just wanted to ask, Liverpool have conceded like around 12 goals in the last 9 or 10 games after a very solid start. So has that been a defensive issue for you in the recent games, or is it compounded by the injuries in the midfield department for you?
So we conceded 12 goals in the last 9 or 10 games. After Thursday, okay. Yeah, look, we can talk about it. It's no problem. We talk about that internally, you can imagine. We analyze goals to concede are obviously part of, and we talk about that. And most of the goals happen because something is not right. And that's what we're working on. Unfortunately, that's not a massive pattern now that the goals always happen in the same way. We have some things which we recognized, saw, and hopefully stopped. But then sometimes in football, next game, different problem. We see the game as a complex game. It is, not we see it like it is a complex game, and that means you have to consider pretty much each part of the game. You have the ball, that doesn't mean you are only offensively, you need people in protection. You don't have the ball, that doesn't mean everybody's in a challenge, but you need help around, you need a good positioning for after winning the ball, all this kind of thing. So that's how we see it. So that means the general thing is okay, but in details we have to improve. We know that, and that's what we are absolutely working on.
Thank you. Now we go to Diego Plaza. Diego, you're there? I think you were in your car a second ago. You want to unmute and ask the question?
Disappeared.
I think we may have lost Diego, in which case that's fine. So Paul Joyce is definitely on. Paul, I don't know if you want to unmute and ask the question. We'll go to you.
Hi, Jürgen. I was just wondering how you reflect now on the Atletico game at Anfield in March 2020. I think it was one of the few times when you said that, or the only time when your mind wasn't fully on the football match. How do you look back at that, the events surrounding that game now, please?
Not too much really, but of course now before the home game again, you from time to time you think a little bit about it, but yeah, strange 18 months since then really. So the world turned in parts upside down. I'm not sure we could have imagined that night. I think we all, or most of us, had a sense of it, that something really drastic can happen to us and to the society, and that what happened. But in that night I didn't know obviously to which extent. But yeah, it's 18 months ago. Crazy. You're right, it was the one game. When I thought about this game later, like in April, May or whatever, after that, and I was thinking it was the last game we played, I never thought about it like about a football game. Just in my mind, it was a really strange moment, to be honest. Before the game, after the game, everything what happened, the news you got before the game, the changes in Madrid, here we were not that far, all these kind of things. Then all of a sudden, no mascots in the stadium, so you realize, oh, okay, somebody thinks that could be not good, and all these kind of things. It was really a strange situation. We were all in. You were probably in the stadium as well. And yes, I see it as that, but not as the football game. Yeah, we lost. We played, I think, if I'm right, we played a pretty good game, but we lost. And that's it.
Thank you, Paul. Finally, we'll just give Diogo, I know he just came back on. Diogo, do you want to give it one more go? Diego Plaza, going once, going twice. If you want to ask your question, you're going to have to come on now. If not, we're going to leave you, and Jordan Henderson will be next. Okay. Thank you. That's us. Thank you very much. Oh, there we go.
Hola.
Go on, sir. You're going to have to go quick off the mark. Last question.
Disculpa que no lo escuchaba. Con Plaza, para el chiringuito, quería preguntarte qué sensación te dejó el Atlético en el partido del Metropolitano, porque empezaste muy bien, os pusisteis por delante muy pronto, pero luego el partido se fue complicando. No sé si me escuchas bien. ¿Yuyen? Ok.
wasn't sure, but was a little bit. What can I say? A game of different parts. We had. I thought we started really well. We scored incredible goals. Were really on front foot, dominated the game, and then not out of nothing, but we conceded a goal, and then the stadium was there, and then the atmosphere was really exceptional, and so it was a really tough game. They scored a second one, and red card, 3-2, goodbye. So pretty much that was it. It's a tough game. We know that, and will be a tough game. Atletico has a specific style to play, and we have as well a specific style. So there will be probably waves in the game where one can be superior, but in the end you have to, in your good moments, you have to make decisive things, and that's what we will try tomorrow again.
Okay, thank you everybody. Speak to you soon. Bye bye. Jordan Henderson will be up next.
So if he needs translation.
question on Antonio Conte has joined Spurs. Another of the world's great managers is back in the Premier League, and yourselves going to have to contend with what he does at Tottenham. Just your reaction on another phenomenal manager in the Premier League.
Yeah, it's a huge. Yeah, he's a huge manager in world football. Really, what he's achieved in the game. So to come to the Premier League, I'm sure he'll make his mark on the Spurs squad and make them competing at the highest level, and he'll be trying to go in there and do that straight away. So I'm sure he'll have a big impact, and like you said, it's another big manager in the Premier League.
Jordan, just on the game now against the Atleti, I spoke to Jurgen about 20 minutes ago, just saying the last game was fantastic for people like me to watch. I don't know quite what it was like out there, but what is the challenge of playing a side like the A Community side? It probably isn't quite the best word to describe it. Actually liked against Simeone and his Atleti sides.
You broke up a little bit, but I think I got the majority of the question. It's always going to be tough against Atletico. You know, they're a fantastic side. As we found out last game, really, quality players. Were extremely hard together as a team, defensively, good on the counter-attack. Diego Simeone is a world-class manager, and he'll have them set up in a way which you think that can hurt us. But it's down to us to make sure that we perform on the night, and if we do that, then hopefully we can get another good result as we did in Madrid a few weeks ago.
Okay, we'll go to Carl from the BBC, please, next.
Hi, Jordan.
Hi, mate.
Looking at how well you've started this season and the frustrations of the last campaign, has that made the squad more determined not to let that happen again?
Listen, we've started the season well. Could it be better? Yeah, I think it can be better. It could have been worse as well, but yeah, I think it's a decent start of the season overall. If you look over all of the games and all of the competitions, there's still things that we want to improve on, but that's always the case. And hopefully we can keep progressing, keep learning, keep improving as the season goes on again.
Okay, we'll go to James from TalkSport next, please.
Jordan, how much of a boost do you think it would be to progress from this group with 2 matches to spare? And what sort of achievement would that be when you consider the sides in this group?
Yeah, it would be a big achievement. You know, it's a tough group with top teams in it, and so far we've done really well in them games. So it's another tough test tomorrow night. It'll be a difficult game, but one that we know that if we get a good result, we can qualify, like you said, with 2 games to go, which would be a big bonus. But ultimately, we're just focusing on the game and what we can do performance-wise in terms of getting that result that we need.
Okay, Carl, do you want to go next, please?
Hi, John. You've played with Luis Suarez, you've played against him. I just wondered what the challenges are when you come up against a player like him.
A lot of challenges. I think we all know he's a top player for a long time. Produced so many good moments at Liverpool, and I learned a lot from him while he was here. You know, I'm quite close to him. I speak to him now and again. But yeah, he's world-class player, and he causes a lot of problems for defences. He's always in and around the goal, and if he gets a chance, I'm sure he'll take it. So we've got to be on our guard with him. Not only him, you know, they've got world-class players all over, but certainly Louis is a top striker and will cause any team problems.
Okay, we've got time for 2 more, so we'll start with Dave Maddock, please.
John, you say you're close to Lewis and you speak to him. You mentioned speaking English to him for a start, because he never spoke much English when he was here. And how often do you speak to him? How close are you?
Not that often, to be honest, but now and again, just to see how he's doing, how his family's doing, and things like that. But yeah, not all the time.
I was just
wondering, you say what you learned from him, because I mean, obviously he had an emotional side, but he also was maybe one of the great sort of competitors, and so I just wondered what you took from him and his personality.
A lot. I think he helped us a lot when he was at Liverpool. Mentality side of it, how he was in training. He always wanted to win. He played through the things that he played through in terms of pain barriers and things like that. He just wanted to get out, play football, and try and do his best for the team. And yeah, like I said, I took a lot from him when he was here. I think he helped me massively, made me grow in confidence as a player, and I had a good relationship off the pitch, but also on the pitch as well.
Okay, and final question for today will go to Chris, please.
Sonny Jordan's turned into the Suarez show here, but Adam Lallana got a fantastic reception on Saturday. Do you think maybe the time's come for Lewis to get like it was different circumstances when he was here last time? Could you remind the crowd would show their appreciation for what he did while he was here?
Yeah, I think so. I think when Louis was here, he was phenomenal. For a number of years, he was outstanding. And I think the fans know that. I think the fans will appreciate that and what he did at this football club. I don't think Louis will be too bothered. But yeah, of course, after the game, it would be nice. Maybe not during the game, but after the game, it would be nice for him to get a nice reception from the crowd.
Okay, guys, that's all we've got time for today. Thank you very much for joining.